Today in the Road Testament, Hyundai. But first, last week's comments. JF?
Plenty of people ripped into both of us for bringing up Porsche too much. People still
More you than me this time, but go on.
But people still hate your guts.
Not as much as before.
There was one comment from Ingram 0009 who said the best Ferrari ever was the 288 GTO, followed by the 308 and the 328. I have to agree with you that the 288 GTO played a significant role in Ferrari's history. It started the supercar revolution. In fact, it actually played a significant role in the automotive industry.
Was the original supercar.
Well, the 288 GTO had its place. We cannot forget that. But
Vector.
I still believe the F40 was a turbocharged go-kart for the street that you could see through the paint and see the carbon fiber.
And a blind man could draw one.
That.
He knows what it looks like.
What are we talking about today?
Hyundai, today on the Road Testament.
Exclusively at autostream.com/yoparts.
The Road Testament's taken a lot of heat for talking about how our favorite manufacturers, well, mine, BMW and Porsche, yours, BMW and Porsche, about how Audi, their old models are more desirable than their new models, even though the old ones aren't as good on paper. Okay, that's a fair criticism. Well, there is a manufacturer whose new models are absolutely way better than anything they've ever made, and they're so good they're being compared to the best models from the manufacturers we love. You know who that is?
Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Yep.
All right. The Hyundai Genesis Coupe is being compared to the Mustang and the M3.
Not the M3. You got
Truth About Cars says that the Genesis Coupe's steering is better than an M3.
that's opinion.
Like a lot of things I say.
I will be very firm in stating that the Genesis Coupe and the Genesis Sedan are phenomenal cars. But the Coupe, for example, I don't know whether it's quite there yet. Now, they've marketed the car to be a performance car, performance vehicle. That's why Reese Millen drove an example of it up Pikes Peak and set the rear-wheel drive record.
Reminder, a Hyundai.
A Hyundai, yes.
Go on.
But keep in mind, I've driven several different variations of the Genesis. It's not quite a performance car. Let's state the facts about Hyundai as a company. They are the fourth largest car company
They're
in the world.
top rated in terms of fuel economy by the EPA, the entire fleet.
And that is something I want to dawn on when comparing the Genesis Coupe towards a sports car. Because when you drive the Genesis Coupe, something weird happens. Yes, it feels great. It is a rear-wheel drive sports car, but it's not quite there yet. It gets great fuel economy. And I think that the engineers and the marketing department focus too much on that fuel economy. So when you're driving, for example, you're going into a turn, you're downshifting, you're on the brakes, the engine doesn't help slow the car down.
Even in the manual.
Even the manual. Some part of, and you can go drive the car and you'll feel the same thing. Some part of the engineering of the car is they've realized that by not having the car decelerate itself with the engine, you actually get better fuel economy. So you can't really drive it like a sports car by slowing down by downshifting. You actually have to use the brakes no matter what. That little flaw, and albeit it's a small flaw with the car, it actually makes me feel like, yes, they're marketing it as a sports car, but it's still, they were more concerned about the fuel economy than having fun.
I can't even comment because I didn't know that, like a lot of things in this show. However, you know how many years it was between the BMW 2002 and the first M3?
15.
15 years. Before the first 2002 BMW, I mean, they weren't considered even a good brand, all right? First generation Genesis Coupe comes out. That we're even talking about it in the same context as a Mustang or an M3 is a huge statement. Hyundai,
there's no question in my mind that they've done a fantastic job with the Genesis brand.
It's not just the Genesis. Look at the entire company. All right, fourth largest. And EPA standards are awesome. I mean, you mentioned a single model, a single design decision that could be evolved out in the next generation. But you think about what's happened with Hyundai, they were a joke until a year or two ago in the minds of almost everybody, including me. Forward thinking in terms of marketing, they were giving away free cars to people who are winning the Forza Motorsport Hyundai Challenge. It's a big deal. Reese Millen is driving one up Pikes Peak.
Yep.
Think about that.
In a prototype now to try to get the overall victory.
They bought Kia.
Yeah.
Okay. The design of the Genesis, the Hyundai Sonata sedan, it certainly looks as good as like the Passat CC sedan. It has a roofline similar to some of the best cars, the A6, the new Jag. I mean, it's really weird. In my mind, they came out of nowhere, but Hyundai is huge.
Yep, they've been in the country since 1986, I believe, but it hasn't been until the past 3 years that we've actually started taking notice of them.
And the Genesis Coupe is also interesting because if you're in the street community and you're street racing, you're tuning, how many other Asian rear-wheel drive coupes exist that you could buy at a good price and tune?
The fact that the marketing department came up with the idea of having a package with nothing in it to make it easy for a tuner to go rip everything out because they know that they're just going to rip out the cloth seats anyway. They don't have to rip anything out because the Genesis Coupe configurator has a track-ready edition for $24,000. Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. The fact that they're marketing a car for the right generation, which is really smart of them.
You know something? I don't even think that they've even come close to it's tip of the iceberg for Hyundai because their marketing has barely really started.
Well, then let me ask you this question. What could be the downfall of the company? They're on such an upward trend. How can they really screw it up?
Actually, upward trend. I predict that Hyundai could be the next Toyota before Toyota's fall. And I agree with you. What could get in their way? Their nomenclature is the nomenclature of a brand still trying to find its way. But they've already found their way. It's their branding and marketing department should be completely fired, actually, because the products are really incredibly good.
Well, the marketing department has done a great job of, I've gone to press events, and for them to come up to me and ask me what I think they should do, that says something as opposed to other manufacturers telling me what I think they should do.
I'll tell you what their mistake they're making. Do you know that there's a Hyundai model above the Sonata sedan?
There's plenty.
No, there's one.
What are you referring to?
Azera.
Okay,
Heard? Do you know anything about it?
No.
You ever drive a Toyota Avalon?
No, I haven't.
Well, there's a reason.
Or the Accent, $9,000 car. I didn't even believe there's a $9,000 new car from them.
What's most important about Hyundai's, I guess, the most important thing Hyundai can avoid doing is they need to ditch the Azera. They need to stop trying to build up the Hyundai brand. They need to do what Nissan and Infiniti did in the late 80s. They need to come out with another higher-end brand.
That's a big step. That's a bold statement.
Okay.
I don't know if they're ready for that.
They can afford to do it.
I don't know if they're ready to do that.
People said that about Honda and Toyota.
Okay.
Look at Lexus today.
Okay.
I mean, Hyundai is in a way better position than Toyota was back when they launched the Lexus brand.
It's a bold statement, Alex, and I think, you know what?
I predict that Hyundai will enter Formula One within 5 years.
They said that in 2006.
Within 5 years.
It's not going to happen.
It wasn't the right
not going to happen.
time.
They're going to focus on more mainstream culture stuff, stuff with Travis Pastrana, stuff with Reese Millen, stuff with guys who have already made a big impact in the industry already. They're going to leech onto something like that. They're not going to try to branch into Formula One or even WRC or any of the touring cars.
Formula One.
They're not going to release. They're not going to do
release diesel engines across the entire.
Yes, I agree. The diesel engine lineup is going to make an impact for the company.
There's a diesel engine in the lineup today?
It's incredible. I know. I agree that diesel engines they are making the right moves, but I don't think they're going to go as far as going to F1. That's all the time we have for today. Sorry.
Hyundai is going to be the number 3 automaker in the world within 5 years. Maybe
Okay.
number 2.
Guys, we want to know what you think. Please leave comments below. Next week we are on the road, on location, building cars.
Learning how good or bad BMWs from the mid-'80s actually were, because we're going to Lemons
Yes, we are.
with a pair of 325s next week on The Road Testament.